Friend helper function is a function which is not a member of a class but is a function designed to be used with classes objects. Unlike in the case of free helper function that I talked in the previous recording, the friend helper function has a direct access to the private members of the class. Therefore, the logic that can be included in a member function of a class can also be included in the friend function. I will be using this code to explain friend helper function. This is the code which is the outcome of my previous this is the outcome of on free helper function. If you watch that video, it will be easy for you to understand this code, but anyway, I will first quickly explain this code and then I'll go ahead. So I have a student class with the data members ID, name and GPA, and we have default constructor and custom constructor to set the received data into the data members. We have a display function to which receives a OSTrem type object, and it returns object. It uses that object to display the data and returns that same object. And we have the code which creates the st1 object of student type and st2 object, and it actually invokes the display function. And you can, since this display function actually returns OSTrem object, we can actually use that object to insert the end line character. Now, while discussing the free helper function, I did this was an example of free helper function that I did, and for that purpose we needed to create a member function get GPA, and this is a free helper operator and the free helper function. In this case also, we actually wanted to implement this free helper function to display the data. For that purpose, we actually needed to create this function, or we did needed to modify this function for that particular purpose. So from that recording, you might have noticed that if you want to create a free helper function, you may have to have some member functions added into the class, so that that function can be used by the logic of the free helper function like this. And these are the code that actually invokes the free helper function, free helper operator. In this case, I think I should also I can do this here, a similar operation greater 3.2, and this is the invocation of the free helper function. This is a invocation of free helper operator. Let me quickly compile this, and then I will come back and start talking about friend helper function. Compilation, linking, and execution. So it is working well. This was the outcome of the invocation of display function through object 1, first object, and second object, and then this was the outcome of the invocation of get and is GPA greater than 3, and this was the outcome of the invocation of the operator greater than operator. This two lines were outcome of the invocation of the print function, free helper print free helper function, and this was the result of the outcome of the invocation of the operator version of that same function. Going back to the code, again I am actually asking you to watch the free helper function version of the video so that you will understand this code well, and you will you will have less difficulty understanding what I'm going to talk now. So I'm going to be talking here friend helper function, and sorry, instead of free, and friend helper operator. So friend helper function is something like this, but it actually gets direct access to the data members. So we don't need to create this kind of functionality. For example, uh, to if I want to convert this into friend helper function, then I may not need to use this function. Let me show you how. Uh, to make this function friend, one thing you have to do is you have to declare that function as a friend uh, in the class definition. It's just declaration. This is not definition. You just have this declaration friend, and then after that it will actually allow you to access the private member, right? So through this object. So this is since this function is declared as a friend, then this function is allowed to access the private member directly. So now in this logic, this is not using this function anymore. Similarly, in this operator also, if you want to make this operator as a friend, you can declare this as a friend in the class. This is the syntax. You have to use friend keyword followed by the prototype or declaration of the function. Now you don't need to call this GPA function. You can directly access. With this, with this, turning off this free helper to the friend, we don't need this function anymore. The complexity amount of code is actually reduced in the class through the use of friend helper function. Let me make sure that we don't have problem at this up to this point. So for that purpose, I'm going to be executing this code, running this code, so we don't have any problem. This is the same output that we got before. Now to convert this thing as a friend helper function, this display function as a friend helper function, we can do the same thing. We can declare this function as a friend, then after that you can actually place this logic directly there. But you cannot use this private member directly. You have to access that private member through the object that is received here, and st.name and st.gpa. Then you can directly return this, because this entire expression will return OS object. So just return this. So this sort of a change you can make if you declare this as a friend. Similarly, we can declare this as a friend, sorry, inside the class definition. Then you can copy and paste, do the same thing here. So now at this point, this is not free helper function, this is a friend helper function. Now uses is going to be same. There's not going to be any change in the uses of this function. Only thing is that they allow the same operation, but from a different perspective, from the friendship perspective. Let me go back to the terminal and try to run it again. So it is displaying the same thing, doing the same thing, right? So we don't have any issue with the code now. So finally, again, let me go ahead and talk about the friendship and free and friend helper. In this case, since we have this code placed directly here, we don't need this function for that particular purpose, but we will need this function because we have invocation of that function through this member. So for this, only for this purpose we'll need that function, but for this purpose, for the purpose of invoking this this function or this operator, we don't need to have this function. So that means friendship can allow you to have a simpler code, I mean smaller amount of code in the class, but it is having friendship is about giving permission to an external function to access the private members. That is it actually can violate the privacy issue. So in object oriented programming, privacy is one of the key issue that we don't want to avoid. So one thing is that if you want to avoid use function, you should avoid it. If it is necessary, you can use it. Otherwise, you are encouraged to rely on the free helper function if it is possible for the sake of privacy. This is all I have to discuss on this topic. Thank you for watching this video.